All right, traders, happy Wednesday to you. Welcome back. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to you guys joining on the live stream as well. Let me know if you can hear voice, see screen. Good, 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 good. Got a quick announcement today. We got to have a short session today. I've got to be out of here in an hour. I've got to do another round of consulting. We didn't have a chance to finish everything that we needed to in yesterday's session, so I've got to make a return trip today. However, I did push it back a little bit because you guys know I feel guilty about every time I miss the live room, especially if it's not planned. So I'm going to try and be out of here by 8:30 today, so a short hour session. But we'll dig around the markets and look at the opportunities at hand. Ali says doing good. Had a great holiday last week. Now it feels good to be back and develop my trading and being in the live rooms. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are finding these so helpful. So many got a lot of emails last week about the live rooms, and especially during the summer where people have a little bit more time to invest in the testing and the strategy development. It's really cool to kind of practically apply what they're learning throughout the courses to the live markets. And it does kind of help that things are a little bit slower in the summer as well. Slower means that there's less urgency or less fear that moves are being missed, and you can kind of focus on the things that matter more. So, got a handful of things to talk about today, so we'll hop right into it. We can get the live streamers in and out. Thank you guys for joining. For you guys watching on TradingView and YouTube. As far as the economic calendar, we got OPEC meetings all day. We've got a few important people sitting on a panel in Portugal. ECB president. We got a Bank of England. We got the Fed chair as well over there. So we may hear something come out of that a little bit later, but no real high impact news events this morning. GDP, maybe that's going to affect our trading day. So let's hop into it. Or she says an Italian bank holiday. It is an Italian bank holiday. Awesome. I lose track of all these holidays, man. I just work every day. That's how I look at it. So let's hop into things today. Got a few opportunities for the trade of the day. We're going to start with longer term opportunities because usually the day trading, I'm going to stick with that to live room members. And this is going to be familiar to many of you. We're going to go over to the euro yen. And the euro yen is doing something very similar to the pound yen, right? You guys ever remember us talking about morphing patterns? Does that sound familiar? Morphing patterns? What is a morphing pattern? Who can tell me what a morphing pattern is? Morphin Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Anyone know what a morphing pattern is? It kind of is exactly what it sounds like. Or she says, when something turns into a different pattern. Ollie says, when one pattern develops into a different pattern. Yep. It is when a pattern starts off as one pattern, doesn't necessarily follow through how you would expect that pattern to follow through, and then all of a sudden turns into a different one. It changes. And this is scary for a lot of traders. It is also 100% normal. And this is also why it's important. You never know when a pattern is going to morph, when it's not going to morph. You can get clues, right? And if you remember the euro yen, situation right here. So if we rewind in time a little bit, we had this double top forming, right? Now, who remembers what we said about this double top, or who can tell by just looking at it what we spoke about this double top? Was this a double top that we were looking to take bearish per se? Had a nice 3-bar reversal on the second one. Yeah. But depending on your rules, depending on your interpretation, some of you were not because of the depth of the retracement, right? The fact that the V bottom of the double top came all the way back down to our previous inside structure, right? Or look left, structure leaves clues right here, which for many of you is a sign that, hey, because of the depth of that retracement, this is more of a continuation setup than a reversal setup, right? So you weren't necessarily looking at it as a double top counter trend reversal trade, more so as something that could potentially be a continuation trade. Now, again, do you have to think like that? No, right? You do not have to have that rule at all. Again, it's going to be all about how you interpret the market. But that is something that always stands out for me, mainly because there was a point in my trading where I was both I am right now, but there was a point in my trading when I first started becoming a counter trend and trend continuation trader. And I realized that there was a lot of conflicting signals that I did not have rules or regulations for. And I got into a lot of trouble because I didn't know what I was doing. So I started looking for key things that would separate one trading opportunity from the other. And this was one of them. So we came off this retracement, attacked the highs again. We had a shallower retracement, right? Again, a nice 3-bar reversal here at the second test of the double top, in double top in quotes. And now we're coming back up and we're hugging the highs. And again, whenever I see price action hugging those highs or refusing to make a move lower, that is a positive sign in this case for the bulls. I always look at the market as being like a battle, bulls versus bears. And when we get to these certain decision points, I'm looking for what the reactions look like, who is in control. If we see big retracements down, that's a good sign for the bears. If we see small retracements, that's a good sign for the bulls. And this is forming what's called an ascending triangle, right? A pattern where basically the retracements get shorter. We continue to hug about the same highs. And typically in this pattern, historically, we break out to the upside. So keep an eye out for a breakout to the upside here on Euro Yen. This is almost identical to Pound Yen, which shouldn't surprise anyone, big brother, little brother. The question we want to ask ourselves now is, okay, so we've identified this pattern. We're able to make a prediction on what we think is likely to happen next. Is there room to travel higher, right? It's one thing to have a setup that tells us, hey, we're more likely to travel higher. It's a whole completely different story to actually have room to travel higher. And again, another mistake that newer traders make. So newer traders, if you're listening, we're giving you a lot of mistakes here, right? And maybe mistakes is the wrong word, but maybe lack of experience. I think one of the biggest things that hurt newer traders, underexperienced traders, is that they don't look at the full picture. Right? Would you guys agree with that? If you can kind of go back to your new trader days, your diaper days, right? You look at maybe one thing over here, and you look at one thing over here, or you look at one thing over here, and you look at one thing over here. And these things could be, this could be fundamental analysis, news. This can be a specific pattern. This can be, who knows what, right? But they're individual things. And you tend to make decisions off those individual things. Ooh, double top, right? That means this. But you're not looking at, let's say, overall analysis. The key is you want to take these clues, these clues, these clues, these clues, and they all need to fit together. And that's what's going to give you a good trading opportunity. So it's one thing to have this ascending triangle, right? Which again, historically, if you're just going by the books, right, you look up ascending triangle, it says, should break out to the upside. Well, what if there's no room to break out to the upside? What if we're at all-time highs right now? Do you want to buy something that doesn't really have room for you to profit? Well, no. And again, that's one of those things. Overall analysis. Do we have room to go higher? So it's only when this and this and this and this all point you in the same direction, that's when you have a good trade. Stuart says, my prediction, if it breaks, my prediction is 147 even. Let's see. Let's zoom out. Let's look left. Structure leaves clues. I remember the first time I was in, the last time I was went to London. And you guys got those look left deals in the street. Started geeking out. I was all excited. People didn't understand. I'm like, it's a trading thing. You don't get it. It's a trading thing. But yeah, first time I was freaking out. I was all looking for structure. Almost got hit because I wasn't looking for cars at all. Just looking for structure. Started looking for support and resistance. Almost got hit by a cab. What are you doing? I said, looking for structure. It said it look left. Might be a trading opportunity. Oh man, fun stuff. Well, yeah. Maybe that bus. Yeah. The bus was it was a good form of resistance. I learned that the hard way. Got to get back over there. I was planning on. I told you guys the story last week. I was planning on getting over there during 2020 when I had to. Then we had to cancel everything. All right. So Stuart says what? Stuart. There we go. My voice, puberty. Stuart says 147s. Boom. Right up in here. Yep. I think that's a quality mark, Stuart. That's a level that was on our radar as well. If you're going to be a little bit more conservative, you can even say something like 145 18s. So there is room to move higher, right? Obviously, the 145 18s is a little bit lower, right? We got some fib stuff up here as well. But yeah, certainly room to go higher here. Looking for an ascending triangle breakout. Now your thing is you want to go down to, if it's in your rules. And yep, I did that this morning. Yep, 127 extension. Yep. Looking at the same thing. Good eye, Stuart. Now the question is, what do you need to do in order to get involved in a trade? Do you stay on the daily? Do you go down to a lower time frame? What is your trading time frame? What is your method? Are you a before, during, or after trader? We know that a before trader is going to try and position themselves prior to the breakout, quote unquote, giving themselves the best opportunity with the least amount of confirmation. Are you going to try to get involved during the breakout, meaning once this thing triggers, boom, reach a hand out and go ahead for the ride? Or are you going to wait for the confirmation of the breakout and then look for the pullback? No wrong or right answer. That is completely up to you and your trading plan. So that's the Euro Yen. Good trading opportunity. Short and sweet for the live stream because we're in a kind of a rushed process today. Got to be out of here in a little bit. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Make sure you check out today's Trading Coach podcast episode as well. Overcoming fear-based trading mistakes. Ooh, something I know you've made. We've all made it. Source says, for me, it's a break, pullback, retest the structure, then entry signal. Love it. What's the entry signal? Just curious. Just being nosy.